Here to discuss with us the best strategies for this balancing act between work from home and return to office arrangements, especially in terms of office spaces. We have with us on the show Colliers Director Joey Bondoc. Good morning, Joey. Thank you very much for joining us on One News.
Hi, Jago. Good morning.
Yes, let's get right to it, Joey. Tell us about the current state of the office space market as the work from home setup remains widespread across different industries.
Well, Jago, we're pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
that office space, the office market in general, is doing well at this point. We have major business districts such as Makati CBD, Fort Bonifacio, Ortigas Center that are doing very well. So we have seen stable demand for
Mm-hmm.
these business districts. Rents are holding firm. Vacancies are pretty stable, not similar to vacancies that
Yeah.
we saw pre-pandemic. But what we have seen is that the BPOs continue to occupy space. Vacated spaces first half of 2023 dropped by 43%
Okay.
compared to the year prior. So while companies have been implementing work from home, there are companies that also continue to occupy office space. And I agree with Mr. Madrid. There should be a balance between work from home as well as the traditional office setup. You have major BPO companies, large BPO players here
Yes.
in the Philippines that are working from home. But there are some companies, especially those that are into financial transactions,
Mm-hmm.
financial deals, occupying office space. And I think what we have seen so far is that the role of office is really evolving.
Yes, that's
Previously,
right.
it's just a typical 9 to 5 job, but office right now has really evolved. Physical office means a space where employees collaborate, they brainstorm, and for some, they use office space now as a main recruitment hub. So it's really evolving, and a lot of companies are choosing to be in the green, sustainable office spaces across Metro
You,
Manila, which are considered healthy office spaces
yeah,
as well.
you mentioned evolving. I think that's a balance between results and having to be in the office. But do you agree with the statement of Joey Concepcion that work from home has a negative impact on economic growth versus that of what employees have been saying that it's easier for them because they get to save from transport costs and they have more spending power. So, what do you think about these two statements?
I don't really believe that it has a negative impact on economic growth because even if employees work from home, they
Mhm.
will spend. Some of them are able to save even and are eventually able to purchase big ticket items, appliances, laptops, which they need for their work from home setup. Because
Yeah.
if you look
Mhm.
at the structure of the country's economy in the second quarter of this year and how we expanded, the household consumer spending was
Mhm.
pretty stable. You have to note that the Philippines is primarily a consumption driven economy. About 70% of our GDP relying on personal consumption. I think if you look at the second quarter results, the low
Mm.
hanging fruit there was the dismal government spending. I mean, if government spending was stable and the government really ramped up its
Yeah.
infrastructure spending, its allocation, then we would have grown faster, not the disappointing 4.3%. So
Mhm.
I think for the remainder of the year, we want to grow faster. It's really this government that needs to ramp up, and it has a lot of pump priming to do for the remainder of the year.
Yes, but how do you then bridge the gap between those who want to continue work from home and those who want to have the employees return to office work? I think what Joey Concepcion was saying was like small businesses or medium businesses like canteens are losing customers as compared to those who are consuming online, which have no physical address. So how do you balance this then?
Well, some companies have evolved. Some small businesses have also evolved. So you have those into food deliveries also that have really become mobile. So they have been shipping or
Mhm.
using a lot of online platforms just to reach their customers. I think at this point, it's really evolution
That's right.
for a
That's
lot
right.
of businesses, not just the BPOs, but even for the micro, small, and medium enterprises. They really need to ramp up the way they use technologies to reach their customers here in Makati. You see the makeshift canteens here still thriving, despite some companies implementing work from home. So it's still a thriving business, especially the food business, the micro, small, and medium enterprises. But definitely, there is some recovery, especially for the Philippines, which is starting to recover,
Yes, yes.
rebound, and we're seeing consumption really thriving and growing at this point. And a lot of businesses are starting to feel this revenge. Dining,
Yes, yes.
revenge spending
Spending.
that we're seeing in the market at this point. And a lot of sectors including office, food and beverage, are recovering. So I think that it might take a while before we reach that pre-pandemic growth in terms
Yes.
of spending, or for the real estate sector, office demand, the level of office take-up that we saw pre-pandemic. But definitely we're getting there, and we're seeing very positive signs for the market. What's
Y-
important
Yeah.
at this point is really evolution and finding the right mix between companies that are employing work from home strategies and those that are preferring to be still in a traditional office space. So evolution at this point, and really find the right mix between online, offline strategies, not just for BPOs,
Yes.
but also for other micro, small, and medium enterprises.
Yes, my last question is you're speaking of evolution and it might take a while. But how do you then envision the work landscape of the Philippines in the long term, in the long run?
Definitely, hybrid work is here to stay, Jago, because if you look at BPOs again, they are implementing a mix of work from home,
Mm.
physical, a traditional office space setup. What we have seen is that a lot of companies are rationalizing their office space requirements. They are pre-terminating, but overall, this is a positive news for the office market because it should foster sustainability,
Hmm.
make sure that office space demand remains stable, not just in Metro Manila, but also outside of the capital region. So you have these large BPO companies implementing work from home, but also they are requiring office space, not as large compared to what we saw pre-pandemic, but again, they are reinventing the way and
Okay.
reimagining the way a office space is utilized at this point. And there's some positivity in the market. Again, the trend is hybrid, flexible work scheme is here to stay. But I also agree with Mr. Jack Madrid, flight to quality. So a lot of companies transferring to newer office spaces, and even government agencies are doing this and are taking advantage of rental correction in the market and are transferring to newer high quality office
Yes, that's
buildings
right.
and taking advantage of lower lease rates, especially in key buildings in Makati CBD, Fort Bonifacio, Ortigas Center. So definitely there's a lot of positivity, optimism in the office market, and the BPOs, landlords, developers are really taking advantage of this low-hanging fruits.
And the key is evolution and flexibility, as you
That's
were
correct.
saying. Thank you very much, Joey, for joining us this morning on One News. That was Joey Bondoc
Thank you, Jacob.
from Collier, Director of Colliers.